So then like, are there different types of games that you can play now with this new version, or is it mainly colors? Or like what's like some of the cool stuff people
Yeah.
are doing today?
Yeah, man. I mean, so I know we kind of talked a little bit earlier. You said you used to be a gamer, so you're probably
Mhm.
familiar with some of the big fun games that people like to play now.
Mhm.
They're the more role playing type of games, right? Like you
Yeah.
take on a role, you work on it as a team, things like that. So we have everything under the sun. Our number one game, at least historically, is a game called Space Marines 5, and it is
Okay.
a role playing game. And it is a game where you have a limited number of ammunition, a limited number of lives. Like you can be eliminated from the
Yeah.
game. You can actually run out of ammunition. So the
Cool.
object of the game is you take on a role, you play on a team, and it's very strategic. So you kind of combine
Mhm.
some strategic team play element, and
Like
then
chess kind of
the
thing.
like exactly like
Yeah.
chess. There's five
Okay.
positions, and
Right.
you kind of specialize in one, and similar to maybe basketball, like you want the
Yeah.
best point guard on your team,
Right.
things like that, right?
That's
So
cool.
it's a very min max situation, and that
Mhm.
actually that course that's played international. We have an international
Yeah.
tournament every
I can
year,
see. Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. It's a blast.
That's
And then
cool.
on the simpler side, so that's a little more complicated. Obviously, you got to
Sure.
explain the dynamics of the game. There's a lot of so
Yeah.
we also like to kind of give the option to our operators and say, hey, like here's a game you could roll out to anybody, birthday parties, walk-ins, whoever. I
Mhm.
mean, that's called laser ball. And it's kind of like a soccer basketball blended with laser tag. You have a ball carrier. There's one ball in play, and the goal is
Mhm.
to kind of score on the other person's goal, right? And you can
Okay.
pass it to your teammates. And if the enemy team zaps you, you have the ball, they take it.
Mhm.
And then what's really cool is when somebody scores, it's kind of like soccer, where the game kind of pauses, you go back to your side of the field,
Yeah.
and it resets like new round, right? You try to score a
Yeah.
certain amount of points.
Right.
So it's real fast paced game, man. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the newer, easier. So we have both sides, easy
Yeah.
and more complicated.
That's really cool. So yeah, like just an evolving game to where it's kind of new stuff rather than just the, one team versus the other team.
Yeah. And really what that does for proprietors and operators is that's replayability, right? Like
Right.
that's that metric, right? It's
Yeah.
like play laser, but you can also play this game called laser ball, and it's
Mhm.
totally different experience. It's going to be, so you can kind of sell that as just another game to play. And then the Space Marines 5 is, good for like members nights, league nights. You can kind of run that on a weekday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where foot traffic
Yeah.
maybe is a little bit slower, right? Not a lot of birthdays. So for operators, that's really great stuff for them for replayability, bringing people in, slower nights of the week, or kind of getting
Mhm.
them to buy more than one game of laser tag.
Yeah.
Hey, did you like this video? Great. We make 5 of them a week. Subscribe to get more and to keep learning about what's working in the bowling industry. I'll talk to you then.